And unlike our previous episodes, I decided to lead with my trump card right away, namely a panoramic sea view. Here the view opens up from any point in the house. But before I invite you inside, I'd like to ask you to support us with likes and comments. Today is June 26th. If you watch the news, you probably know that a terrible heat wave has hit Europe, and it's already 28 degrees. But the sensation thermica, meaning how it actually feels, is already plus 31. Add to that a humidity of 65 to 70%, and you'll understand the kind of hell we have to work in. So your likes are, in a way, a boost to our spirits. Because imagine, we're only in June, we still have to shoot in July and August, and it's scary to think about. And since I'm talking about the weather, I'd like to discuss this important factor when choosing real estate, which many of you overlook. You choose with your eyes, and that's normal. We all buy with our eyes, and we all buy on emotion. Houses, clothes, we choose dishes in a restaurant based on their aesthetic appeal. So when you choose a house, very often you determine the budget and the style of the house. But many of you overlook such an important factor as weather conditions. And just imagine, today we're going to have plus 38 during the day, and in the south of Spain, it's over 40. And if you come to us from Los Angeles or Miami, well, you'll easily adapt to the southern regions of Spain as well. But if you're from Northern Europe or Russia, Ukraine, believe me, plus 42, well, it might be nice in the first few days when you've just arrived and are in euphoria over your purchase. But living in such conditions is very hard for people from the north, especially if, God forbid, you have some cardiovascular diseases, for example, or you're an elderly person. Therefore, we approach the choice of real estate considering even such seemingly silly at first glance factors as weather conditions. Catalonia is considered the most comfortable region in terms of natural and weather conditions in the entire Spanish Mediterranean. Well, now let's move on to viewing this house. Since we started our tour from the terrace, let's look at it in detail. It's divided into several zones. This is a shaded zone for relaxation with a lounge area, a zone for sun loungers by the pool, and a bit further, we'll go out there later, the barbecue area, also a dining table under a canopy. And look, this terrace, it's as if it wraps around the entire house, and we see 3 different zones here. This tells us that all life, of course, happens here on the terrace. You'll go into the house, well, maybe only if you're going to cook something in the kitchen, watch TV, and sleep. In summer, spring, and until late autumn, until winter, you'll live here. All life will be here. So a comfortable, cool terrace is the key to a comfortable life in Spain. Oh, there's a very nice breeze here, and I don't want to go into the house, but I have to. Let's continue. From the terrace, we've entered the living room. It's also divided into zones. The house was built, I think it's already 30 years old, so at that time they built with these split levels. They didn't zone the space with furniture like we do now, but with these little stairs, yes, here are 3 steps, and here we already have the living room area. That is a sunken area. In Spanish houses was always intended, well, sunken in terms of being below the main level, was intended for watching television. Where the sofa or some library is, in this case, we see the same thing. And our living room connects to the terrace. Let's go up, higher, and we enter the dining area. Don't be surprised that we have as many as 2 dining tables here. And if you also add the one on the terrace outside, then there are 3. Why? Because this house has a tourist license. This is what most of you ask us about. I won't get tired of reminding you that tourist licenses are not being issued at all in Catalonia until 28. So, of course, having a tourist license is a gold mine in the modern sense. Therefore, the capacity of the house here is good. Since the dining area is small, it was decided to put another additional table. Well, for example, children can have lunch or breakfast here and adult family members here, which is convenient. We can get into the kitchen right from the living room side or from the dining room side. The kitchen is separated from the dining room by a door. And what I like is that it's a walk-through and we end up right away in the barbecue area. In this part of the terrace, there is a bathroom and a shower. Very convenient, very cool. You got out of the pool, rinsed off. If there's a barbecue, guests, here's a bathroom they can use without entering the house. And those who watch us closely know why there is artificial turf here. This is, I think, the third house recently that we've published for our YouTube channel with tourist licenses. And in all these houses, there was artificial turf. Because when we rent to tourists, we need less maintenance, more income, and accordingly less damage to the house, since tourists are all different. And here they accept dogs. Dogs pee on the lawn, it gets ruined. Well, in general, to avoid unnecessary costs and hassle, they always lay artificial turf in such houses. It always looks festive, green, and doesn't dry out even in our current crazy heat. There, and it needs minimal naturally maintenance. Just blow away some leaves that have fallen. Barbecue. And from the barbecue, we approach this mysterious gate that leads us to another part of the garden. The plot ends. I don't know if it will be visible on the video. This mesh here, and that's the boundary of the plot. The plot goes further down there along the perimeter, also facing the sea. That is this piece from this fence to that one. It's all our land. There are 2,500 square meters in total. It's not flat, it's on a slope. A forest, well, this house has its own little piece of forest. You can clear it, you can plant a garden if anyone is interested in that and there is a need for it. You have plenty of space here to apply your gardening talent. And now let's continue inside the house. I like how the pool is set up here. It's perfect for this kind of heat. One step straight from the living room and into the pool. A very good solution. And look at that view. The view is amazing. Yes, I didn't say where we are. For those who long for a gated community, we are in one. The community of Santa Maria de Llorell. It's a gated community 24/7. There's a barrier here. There are only 3 communities of this kind on the Costa Brava, and 2 belong to Tossa de Mar. This is Tossa, Santa Maria de Llorell, and La Gavina in Sagaro. That's it. There are no other fully fledged communities with actual security, not just where cameras are, but where a person physically sits with a barrier. They write down in this community, for example, when you drive in, they write down your license plates, who you're going to what address. If you hesitate and can't answer, they won't let you in, or they'll call the owner to find out if they're expecting guests. That is real serious security. Therefore, answering my first question at the beginning of the video, if you need a community that is strictly gated and you want only the Costa Brava, well, your choice is not very big. There are other communities where security is present in the form of surveillance cameras, and somewhere there is a post where a guard sits. If that satisfies you, then the search area can expand. If you want exactly the kind of security as in this community, then your choice is from these 3 communities, of which La Gavina is the most expensive community, not only on the Costa Brava, but in Spain. Well, now let's go upstairs. Or,
Hello, Marina.
hello, look, we have unexpected guests. What are you doing here? Why don't you join us and record? Is it right now or have the clients not arrived yet?
I still have about half an hour.
Super, then Roma will do this tour with us. I'll give him the microphone now and you'll hear firsthand why he came here with his clients.
We'll tell you all about it.
How lucky that he dropped by. As they say, one opinion is good, but two are better. We've already admired the view. I talked about the community, right, but since you have clients coming here, well, first of all, you should introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roman. I work at Damlex Realty, and today I have a viewing. I didn't expect Marina to be filming here, and it just so happens that my clients are arriving soon. They chose this house specifically because it's a gated community, because it's attractive for a new owner. It's a very cool investment as the house has a tourist license for 10 to 12 people, and panoramic views are the most important requirement for my client.
Going back to what I was saying, yes, a tourist license is a rarity now, very, very hard to find because everyone is chasing after such houses. We have a lot of requests, especially from the French, Dutch, Germans who want them with tourist licenses. Americans are buying them, and there aren't any more houses because they're snapped up in no time.
Not practically, but it's impossible to get a new tourist license. Therefore, these houses are worth their weight in gold.
Right, well then let's show this house together. Okay, let's go upstairs. And how do you like this house yourself? Well, the view, the location.
The location is super. The view is panoramic, cool. This is a dead-end street which won't create traffic from other neighbors and so on. And no one will disturb you.
Well, here in general.
In general, here, only those drive here who live here, and maintenance, nobody else.
You often ask who handles the rentals. In this case, Interhome is one of the oldest agencies on the Costa Brava that handles rentals. They specialize only in rentals. Everyone should mind their own business. They rent it out very well. See, they even have towels with their logo. Here we have a bathroom with a shower, a laundry room. It has an exit to the courtyard. Oh, you can dry clothes here. And let's go into the bedroom. Everything is so cool and interestingly zoned here. The house is unusual in its architecture. Of course, they don't build like this now. What did I tell you about the sea view?
Practically every bedroom has a sea view.
Look how clean, neat, and tidy everything is. All of this is managed by the company I mentioned earlier, which handles all the rental business. They, of course, take a percentage of the cost, the total rental cost, but at the same time, they maintain full control.
The percentage is not fixed. You always need to negotiate with the company that will manage the house. And you need to take into account that the management company should be interested in managing this house, making a profit, and making sure everything in the house is always beautiful like here, so that everyone is satisfied, both the tourists and the owner. Everyone.
And while you were talking there, I escaped to the terrace. There's such a sea breeze here. This is a bedroom with its own terrace. While Roman was telling you about tourist licenses and their advantages, I thought about how the house is very coolly designed in that it's stretched out in zones like this. It turns out if someone is by the pool and someone is here on the terrace, they won't disturb each other. Or if someone is sleeping in this bedroom and someone is splashing in the pool or talking loudly, listening to music by the barbecue, it will be quiet in this room and in this one even more so.
Again, if you have a family, say, with small children or basically a large family, no one will disturb each other. Everyone will spread out to their own zones and do their own thing.
Everything we see around by the barbecue, it will be quiet in this room and in this one even more so.
Again, if you have a family, say, with small children or basically a large, No one will disturb each other. Everyone will spread out to their own zones and do their own thing.
Everything we see around in the neighborhood is our territory. And there is no garage in the house.
But there is this kind of improvised parking. You drive in from the street and park here. And tell me, it's a strategic point. You really feel like you're in some kind of castle here because the road is way below.
It's
higher here, yes, and you feel like you're on top. And at the same time, it's a
3 to 5 minute walk to the beach. There. In summer, in such hot weather, your car will always be in the shade. This is very mountain. Well, you can make a canopy if someone wants to. You can make a canopy. And here there is only one thing that might cause complaints from those who will be watching us or from your clients who are about to arrive. It's that there are stairs in the house. But this is something that is hard to get rid of. If we want a view like this and the view here is amazing, then we have to climb the mountain. And a mountain is always an uneven plot on a slope. So how can we climb a slope? Only with the help of stairs. A gentle flat plot, we lose the view. And if we have such a fantastic view, then you have to run up the stairs. Yes, we got so caught up in views and licenses that we forgot to mention. This room is a suite. It has its own bathroom with a shower. But despite the fact that there are stairs here, you see there are 5 steps here. So it's not very tiring to walk on them.
Here we enter a bed.
Surprise. A room with a surprise.
A surprise room.
For those who have children, this, it seems to me, is every child's dream. And now we will show you a bit later. So here we can fit 2 people.
The bedroom opposite also fits 2 people. And from this bedroom, there is an exit to the bathroom.
And again, someone will say, inconvenient. Inconvenient, but we remember, right, that this is a tourist property. Money is made on it. Therefore, here, this niche where the bed is, it can be used as a wardrobe. But if we want an investment property, we are aimed at filling it with tourists as much as possible. The more beds we have, the higher our profitability. Therefore, in tourist properties, they always put beds. See, we had a tour of a house in Lloret de Mar where we counted, I don't remember, I think for 26 or 24 or 26 people could fit in that house. So this is not the limit yet. Well, and now
the highlight.
The highlight of this room is the loft. But this loft is a dream, of course, for any kid to sleep in a loft and also have a ladder like that. Too bad it doesn't slide away, to shut yourself in and run away from your parents. And now I invite you to the terrace. It's very hot in the house since nobody lives here and we didn't turn on the air conditioners. In general, I want to go outside. Let's go. So, friends, we are on another terrace. And here we came out. And
from this terrace, again, I remind you, there is a panoramic view.
Panoramic sea view. But we weren't discussing that. We were discussing how cool it is when a house is on an elevation, because it's a lifesaver even in such terrible heat. When a house is on an elevation, a breeze comes from the sea. It's hot.
On the terrace,
see, you can tell by my hair. See what a wind, a breeze is blowing. At night, it will be great to sleep in the fresh air without air conditioning. Towards evening, the temperature drops. All the moisture will gather along the beach. It will be easier to breathe here. Then the presence of a huge number of pines in our region, of course, makes the air healthier, as the Spaniards say, ionizes it. Yes, the combination of sea and pine. Therefore, when you strive to buy a house within walking distance to the sea, you forget about such important things as hot summers, high humidity, dry periods, such natural disasters as now when the heat has come to us. And all this affects your comfort and your overall feeling. Therefore, in order not to be painfully hurt by a wrong decision, we weigh everything and analyze the natural conditions in which you are going to live in Spain. Well, or in Spain, in any other country that is not typical for the climate in which you grew up. Yes, by the way, at the very beginning of the video, I also threw out a hook about a private beach. Is there Well, for those who surely your clients also asked you, we want a villa with a private beach.
Yes, and within walking.
Yes, but we know with you that in Spain there are no private beaches. This is prohibited at the state level because the entire coastline, it is considered subordinate to the state. It is public. No one can allocate a private beach for themselves. But communities like this one will practically have their own private beach, agree. Because from the street, security won't let you in if you are not a resident of this community. The only ones who can approach are from the sea, someone on yachts, on the...
Or along the Camino de Ronda. Tourists walking along the coast can stop at the beach, rest, and continue on their way.
And this is another strong point in favor of this community for those who want a private beach. Here, the beach is never overcrowded. On it, you will meet only residents of the community or those who rent villas here. Mostly European public lives and owns real estate here. House of 270 meters.
And almost 2,500 square meters of land.
And we will indicate the cost in the link. You will go under the video. There will be a link you will see. And I also wanted to say a few words about the strategic location of the community itself. As you already understood from our story with Roma, we are in a very quiet, secluded bay, but between two very interesting municipalities, Tossa de Mar, to which this community belongs, and Lloret de Mar. Why such an interesting combination? That is, if you have teenage children, if you yourself like to hang out, yes, party, you have Lloret.
Please, 5 minutes by car and you are there.
Yes. If you don't want this, you go for history, for a measured way of life in Tossa de Mar. By the way, we also have a video recorded about Tossa de Mar. We will also leave a link here. If you have family members with different interests or of different ages, there is entertainment for everyone here. The younger ones to Lloret, the older ones to Tossa. Well, and those who don't want to go anywhere but just want to admire the sea, stay at home.
Here on the beach or at the villa.
Right. And therefore, if you still have questions regarding this property,
write in the comments.
Or if you are looking for real estate on the Costa Brava in general, you need advice from experienced people who know every community and every property.
Absolutely all questions. And moreover, we will accompany you in the transaction for each property.
From start to finish, from the moment of the call to the deal and even after. Marina was with you.
And Roman.
We remind you, subscribe to our channel, click on the bell, leave comments, ask Roma and me questions, maybe
The more questions, the better.
Yes, and in general, I say support us. We are filming in such heat. If you comment or like or even dislike, YouTube will still promote us and we will be visible to more people.
The more reactions, the more we will film in the heat.
We will film 24/7. That's it. Well, we say goodbye to you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.